we're taking a deep dive into Ayurveda. And you've got all this research and notes about Kapha.
Yes.
And we're here to help you navigate it all.
Think of us as your Ayurveda Sherpas,
Yeah.
guiding you through all the coolest parts of this ancient wisdom.
Yeah. And before we get into the Kapha details, let's just do a super quick recap of what doshas are.
Yeah.
For anyone who needs it,
Right.
Ayurveda sees doshas, vata, pitta, and Kapha as the basic energies that shape us mentally and physically, like our own personal blueprints.
Yeah.
We all have all three, but usually one or two are kind of more dominant, the lead singer in a band.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So today we're all about Kapha.
And the cool thing is understanding your dominant dosha is getting a personalized user manual for your well-being. It helps you see your strengths, understand your tendencies, and even, maybe anticipate challenges.
Okay, so let's dive into Kapha. The core elements here are earth and water. Earth, I think of stability, feeling grounded and solid.
Right.
And water, it adds that flow, like nourishment.
Yes.
But it can also get stuck sometimes, like a river.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. It's that earth and water combo that gives Kapha its special qualities,
Oh.
Cool, moist, heavy, stable, smooth.
Uh-huh.
But also, and this is where it gets interesting, potentially static, sluggish, even a bit sticky.
Wait, sticky. Literally sticky.
Not literally sticky, but you know how some people have that stick-to-itiveness, persistence, admirable, but sometimes maybe a little too much. That's Kapha energy.
Well, it's about finding that balance, right? Because those same Kapha qualities that make you the most loyal friend ever can also backfire if they're out of whack.
Exactly. Imagine a garden. You need the right balance for it to thrive, right?
Yeah.
Too much water, your plants get soggy. Too little, they wither. Ayurveda is learning to tend to your inner garden so your Kapha qualities can flourish, without becoming excessive.
So if I'm getting this right, understanding my Kapha dosha is recognizing both the good and the maybe not so good sides, the strengths and the potential weaknesses.
Yeah, and then, learning how to create that sweet spot.
That balance.
Exactly. It's not about labeling or limiting yourself. It's about self-awareness and having the tools to create a life that feels vibrant, grounded, and, true to you.
Okay, makes sense. So I bet a lot of our listeners are wondering what a balanced Kapha dosha actually looks like, in a person. What are some of the positive things that shine through when Kapha is doing its thing?
When Kapha is balanced, it's like a river, calm, steady, nourishing. Think of someone who embodies that. They're probably known for their loyalty, compassion, being calm in a storm.
Those friends you can always count on. The voice of reason in any situation. Those are our Kapha superstars, right?
Exactly. They have this amazing capacity for love, forgiveness, patience. They often hold, families, communities together. And physically, they tend to have strong constitutions, good stamina, and smooth, radiant skin.
That sounds pretty amazing. So let's flip the coin here. What happens when that Kapha river gets a little, muddy?
Well, when Kapha increases, those same lovely qualities can become a bit much. Groundedness can turn into stubbornness, calmness into lethargy, love of comfort into overindulging. Physically, it could be weight gain, slow digestion, congestion, even maybe a tendency towards, feeling down or depressed.
Okay, now this is getting a little more relatable. I mean, who hasn't felt stuck or sluggish or had one too many slices of cake?
Absolutely. And remember, Ayurveda isn't about judging or striving for some perfect ideal. It's about recognizing patterns and having tools to bring things back into balance, like a compass pointing you back to your true north.
So it's like having that inner voice saying, hey, maybe swap the cake for a walk in the park.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about making choices that support us without feeling like we're missing out.
You got it. And speaking of choices, one powerful way to influence Kapha balance is, you guessed it, food.
Ooh, now we're talking. Let's unpack the Kapha pacifying diet in our next segment. Okay, so we've got this foundation for Kapha, right? Earth and water, how those qualities can be awesome strengths, but also, potential trouble if things get out of balance.
Right.
But now, the big question, what can we actually do to keep that Kapha energy flowing smoothly? And the answer, my friend, might be on our plates.
Yeah, food it's such a powerful tool for balancing our doshas and to pacify kapha. It's all about bringing in qualities that kind of counteract that heaviness, coldness, and that potential for things to get stagnant.
So less of that like comfort food that Kapha naturally loves, and more of the foods that bring in lightness, warmth, a bit of a kick.
Yeah, exactly. Adding a little spice to life, literally. And the cool thing is, kapha pacifying food doesn't have to be, bland or boring. It can be all about vibrant flavors, fresh ingredients, meals that leave you feeling good, energized.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued. So what does this Kapha balancing menu actually look like? What are the superstars we should be eating?
Well, let's start with grains. For kapha, lighter grains are best. Barley, quinoa, amaranth, buckwheat, all excellent choices because they give you energy without weighing you down.
I recently tried amaranth for the first time, and I was surprised. It has this nice nutty flavor, and it cooks so fast. I made a breakfast porridge with it, and it kept me full for like hours.
That's great. It's a perfect example of how kapha-friendly food can be, both delicious and good for you.
All right, so we got our lighter grains. What about protein? Any recommendations there?
With protein, kapha types should be mindful of meat intake. Heavier meats can make you feel sluggish, so better to have them in moderation. Opt for lighter choices like chicken, fish, or
Cool.
game.
But what if you're, more into plant-based protein? What about our vegetarian and vegan listeners?
Absolutely. Legumes they're fantastic for kapha. Lentils, mung beans, chickpeas, all those beans, packed with protein and fiber, which are both essential for keeping kapha in check. Plus, they're, so versatile, easy to use in meals, soups, stews, salads, even hummus.
Okay, so grains, protein. Now, the fun part, veggies. I feel like this is where things get really colorful.
You bet. Veggies are key for kapha, and the more variety, the better. Think of it as building a rainbow on your plate.
I love that visual. So what are some of the top veggies for Kapha?
Leafy greens are number one. Spinach, kale, chard, collard greens, all fantastic for kapha. They're light, bitter, and they help, cleanse and detoxify.
Oh, I'm a huge leafy greens fan. Always feel so much better after a big salad with spinach and kale. Like my body's thanking me.
And don't forget the cruciferous veggies, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. Maybe not everyone's favorites, but they're really good for kapha because they have a drying and warming effect.
I used to avoid those. But I've learned that roasting them with a little olive oil and spices makes them actually delicious.
That's a great tip. And speaking of spices, that's another key element for kapha. We want to use those warming, pungent, even astringent spices that help balance that coldness and heaviness.
It's like adding fire to our food, which is exactly what Kapha needs.
Exactly. So load up on ginger, turmeric, black pepper, cumin, coriander, fennel, mustard seeds. These spices, they not only taste amazing, but they stimulate digestion, reduce inflammation, and help clear out excess mucus.
My research mentioned this spice blend called Trikatu with ginger, black pepper, and long pepper. Seems like a real powerhouse for Kapha.
It is. Trikatu is great for that digestive fire, keeping things moving. You can find it pre-made or make your own blend at home.
Ooh, I love a good DIY project. I'm gonna try that. Now, before we move on, what about fruit? Are all fruits kind of created equal when it comes to Kapha?
That's a great question. Not all fruits are ideal for kapha. We want to go for fruits that are less sweet, more astringent, with a drying effect.
Okay, so things like apples, pears, berries, pomegranates, those are all good.
Exactly. They're lighter, easier to digest for kapha. Dried fruits like prunes and raisins can also be good, but, in moderation because they have a warming and drying effect.
But what about those tropical foods? Bananas, mangoes, pineapples. Delicious, but maybe not Kapha's best friend.
Right. They're heavier, sweeter, and they can increase kapha's tendency toward sluggishness and mucus production. So best to enjoy them sparingly.
So it's all about like making informed choices, knowing how different foods affect us, right?
Yeah, it's not about, deprivation. It's about finding those delicious options that truly support us.
And here's a thought. Maybe try eating only when you're like actually hungry.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to snack every 2 hours.
It might sound radical, but kapha types often have slower metabolisms. You might not need to eat as often as other dosha types. Tuning into your body's signals can make a big difference.
So moving away from that grazing and really, honoring our body's rhythms of hunger and fullness.
Exactly. And speaking of rhythms, let's shift gears a bit. Talk about some kapha pacifying lifestyle stuff because, Ayurveda is all about a holistic approach.
Okay, bring on the lifestyle tips.
Now, we talked about movement being important for kapha, but let's get specific about types of exercise that are really good.
Yes, please.
Think invigorating activities that get your heart rate up, get your blood flowing. Brisk walking, jogging, cycling, swimming, dancing, anything that gets you moving, breathing deeply, counteracting that stillness.
I love that. It's not about forcing yourself to do something you hate, but finding things you enjoy that get you moving.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be, super intense or take forever. Even a 30-minute walk each day can make a difference.
My notes also mentioned warmth being important for kapha, like
Yeah.
saunas, hot baths, even just being in the sun, bringing in that heat to balance out kapha's coolness.
You're absolutely right. Kapha thrives in warmth, so anything that brings that in is super balancing. It's like a warm hug from the inside out.
Ooh, I love a good warm hug. Speaking of hugs, my research mentioned dry massage as being good for kapha.
Yes. Dry massage it's fantastic for circulation, lymphatic drainage, removing toxins. It's like giving yourself a gentle scrub with a dry brush or massage mitt.
I've heard of dry brushing, but haven't tried it. What's the best way to do it?
It's simple. You brush your skin in long strokes toward your heart, starting with your feet and going up. Best to do it before you shower so you can rinse off.
Okay, I'm adding that to my routine. Sounds like a great way to get things moving.
And here's another important self-care tip for kapha. Getting enough sleep, but not too much.
The Goldilocks zone of sleep. Not too little, not too much, just right.
Exactly. For kapha, 7 to 8 hours is usually good, but oversleeping can actually make that sluggishness worse.
Right.
So find that sweet spot where you wake up feeling, refreshed.
It's about balance, as with everything in Ayurveda.
Absolutely. And beyond these, physical practices, there are also some key mental and emotional practices that are really important for kapha balance.
Ooh, let's talk about those. I think our mental and emotional well-being are just as important as our physical health.
One of the most important things for kapha is cultivating a sense of purpose, motivation.
Why is that so important for kapha specifically?
Because kapha has this natural tendency toward complacency, inertia. It's easy to get stuck in a rut, lose that spark.
So it's about like igniting that inner fire, getting things moving mentally and emotionally as well.
Exactly. That might mean setting goals, trying new things, or doing activities you're passionate about. Anything that helps you tap into that sense of purpose.
What about meditation? Is that good for kapha?
Meditation is good for all doshas, but it can be especially helpful for kapha because it calms the mind, reduces stress, and cultivates peace.
Mm-hmm.
And stress, can be really tough on us no matter what our dosha is.
So true. And speaking of stress, another tip for kapha is creating a supportive and harmonious environment.
Yes. Kapha is very sensitive to their surroundings, so it's crucial to create a space that feels calm, clutter-free, and, uplifting.
So decluttering my desk, adding plants, maybe diffusing some essential oils, those are all like good steps.
Those are great examples. And it's not just about, physical clutter. It's about mental and emotional clutter, too.
So letting go of negative thoughts, limiting beliefs, anything that's weighing us down, that's part of it too.
Exactly. It's about creating a sense of spaciousness and clarity, physically, mentally, emotional.
This is fascinating. It's amazing how connected everything is, our diet, our lifestyle, our mental and emotional well-being. It's really a holistic approach.
And that's the beauty of Ayurveda. It's not about separating things, but understanding how they all work together.
Well, we've covered a lot in this segment: kapha pacifying foods, lifestyle practices for lightness and warmth, and now the importance of a supportive environment. It's like we've got a map to a more balanced life.
Yeah, it's been great exploring this with you. And remember, this is just the start of your Ayurveda journey.
Exactly. There's always more to discover. We encourage you to keep learning, experimenting with what works for you.
The beauty of Ayurveda is that it empowers you to take charge of your own well-being.
Absolutely. Well, we've covered a lot in this segment. We've explored kapha pacifying foods, invigorating lifestyle practices, and the importance of creating a supportive environment for our overall well-being. Don't worry, we're not done yet.
Stay tuned for our final segment where we'll delve into the world of herbs and supplements that can be particularly beneficial for kapha types. It's like adding another layer of support to your journey toward balance and vitality.
Welcome back. I'm ready for this last part, diving into the herbal side of things for kapha.
Yeah, let's explore that herbal wisdom. Ayurveda has, used these plants for centuries to help people thrive, and they're especially great for fine-tuning our doshas.
So it's like adding a secret ingredient to our kapha balancing recipe.
Exactly. Think of them as gentle nudges helping your body remember its natural balance. And for kapha, one of the stars is that blend we talked about, Chirkatsu.
Forgotsu. That sounds so exotic. Remind me again what's in it and why it's so good for kapha.
Sure. Chirkatsu it's ginger, black pepper, and long pepper all
Okay.
together, and it's like a wake-up call for your digestion, especially if you're feeling that kapha sluggishness.
Like an espresso shot for our digestion.
You could say that. It stokes that digestive fire, reduces mucus, gets things moving, and it's got that warming energy that kapha needs.
My research also mentioned Google. I got to admit that one sounds a little intimidating. What is Google?
Don't worry, it's not scary. It's a resin, comes from the mukul myrrh tree.
Hmm.
It's been used in Ayurveda forever to help with metabolism, cholesterol, and that kapha thing with getting stagnant.
So Google is like the circulation superhero, keeping things flowing.
You got it. And here's one that might be a little more familiar. Turmeric.
Uh-huh.
Turmeric seems to be like everywhere these days.
Right. It's like the rock star of spices.
Yeah.
But why is it so good for kapha?
Well, turmeric is, it's anti-inflammatory, it's an antioxidant. But for kapha, it's especially good because it helps clear out excess moisture, reduce congestion.
So like a dehumidifier for our bodies,
Yeah.
keeping that kapha dampness in check.
Exactly. And here's another one I find fascinating. Punarnava. It literally means that which makes new again. And it's traditionally used to help kidney function and reduce water retention.
Punarnava, that's a new one for me. What is that exactly?
It's a flowering plant, been used in Ayurveda for ages. And it's great for helping our bodies release excess water.
Makes sense since kapha is so watery and can sometimes hold on to fluids.
Right. So Punarnava is like a gentle reminder to let go of what we don't need anymore, to create space for renewal, for flow.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And these are just, a few examples. There's so many herbs that can be helpful. It's always best to talk to an Ayurvedic practitioner for personal recommendations.
Absolutely.
I love that we have this whole world of herbal allies to explore. Now, what about supplements? Are there any that are particularly good for kapha?
There are a few key ones. One that's often recommended is Triphala. Have you heard of that?
I think so, yeah. I feel like I've seen it at the health food store. What is it?
Triphala it's a classic Ayurvedic formula. It's made from 3 fruits: Amalaki, Bibitaki, and Haritaki. And it's known for being a gentle detoxifier and rejuvenator.
So like a spring cleaning for our system, helping clear out any stagnation and kind of refresh our energy.
Exactly. A great way to support overall well-being and promote that feeling of lightness and balance.
Okay, last one on my list, Shilajit. And that sounds like it's straight out of a superhero movie.
It kind of is. Shilajit it's this mineral-rich substance that's found high up in the Himalayas. It's been used in Ayurveda to boost energy, support immunity, and just overall vitality.
Wow, that's impressive. So like nature's energy drink, but without the jitters.
Exactly. And it's also thought to be adaptogenic, so it helps our bodies deal with stress better.
That's amazing. So like having a little bit of the Himalayas to help us through life's ups and downs.
You could say that. Shilajit is a true gem of Ayurveda, and it can be really helpful for kapha, especially when you're feeling, drained or depleted.
Wow, okay. We've learned about kapha pacifying foods, lifestyle things that bring in lightness and warmth, and now these incredible herbs and supplements. It's like we've been given a treasure map to a more balanced life.
It's been great exploring this with you. And remember, this is just, the beginning of your Ayurveda journey.
Right. There's always more to learn, and we encourage you to keep exploring, experimenting with what works for you.
That's the beauty of Ayurveda. It gives you the power to take care of your own well-being.
And that's what this deep dive has been all about.
Wow.
We hope you feel inspired to explore these ancient practices and discover that amazing potential you have.
Remember, you have the wisdom and the resources to create a life of balance, vitality, and joy.
Thanks for joining us on this journey into Ayurveda and the wonderful Kapha dosha. Until next time, take care and be well.